Hello, welcome. So we're going to be doing a bit of a sketchbook experiment today. I'm going to be trying a new art supply that I've never used before. Don't even fully know how to use, but we're going to figure it out. It's going to be fun. So these are deleter screens. I got these in Japan earlier this year. If you caught my Japan art supplies haul video, you'll have seen me talking about these. But what these are is, so these are used in making manga and comics and stuff like that. And what they are basically big stickers with textures on them. So I don't know if you can see, but there's a slight kind of like screen print dot look to that one. This one is like a sky sort of texture, and this one is like little gradients. So you draw your manga panel or you draw your character, and then you use an X-Acto blade or like a small knife to cut out the shapes in which you want to be shaded and then stick it on. And apparently that's how it works. And we're going to figure that out today because I've never used these before, but I've been meaning to for ages. I watched a few videos on how to use them. I don't really know if I've really grasped what was going on in the videos, so this is going to be very much trial and error, but it's going to be fun. We're gonna do some experimenting. It's going to be good. So I've already prepared a drawing that we're going to colour, or rather shade, with the deleter screens today. It's been absolutely ages since I've done any like fan art or like Pokemon art. I used to do loads more of this back in the day, back when I was like mainly on Instagram. I used to do loads of Pokemon art, and it's been far too long. So that's what we're going to do today. So this is kind of meant to be like manga panels-esque, but also like video game inspired, as you can see. This is me if I was a gym leader. This is my gym leader Sona. So this is what we're gonna be deleter screening today. So yeah, my understanding is these are like, once I get them out of the packet, they're like kind of transparent, and you can sort of lay them over the drawing and then almost draw around the shape you want with the knife. Okay, I'm gonna do a small area first, just so I don't potentially like ruin the main illustration. Right, okay, so yeah, it feels like basically a big sticker. Like I'm pretty sure this backing peels off. You know, I was kind of hoping there'd be multiple in one pack. It's actually kind of an expensive art supply, to be honest. It's like single use, but yeah, I guess you're not meant to just use it for sketchbook stuff. Maybe you're meant to use it for like proper published comics. Right, okay, so I'm going to do the top half of this Pokeball. Place deleter screen with backing in place on the drawing paper. Cut the screen slightly bigger than the size you need, then remove it from the backing. Put it back on the drawing paper, trace the design with a knife. I can do this. So I've got an X-Acto blade, which is what I've seen people use online for this. Ooh, is this right? I'm worried I'm going to cut the paper underneath. I want something vaguely that sort of size. Do I cut the whole thing? I don't know. And then that comes off. Okay. Ooh. And then, okay, so I think it's like this. So that's lightly stuck on. I don't want it to stick all the way. And then I think what I do is I trace around the shape of the blade. So, wish me luck. I don't know how hard to press. Okay. Ooh, that looks so good. I think I've got some tweezers as well. This is incredibly fiddly. I cannot express enough how incredibly fiddly this is. It looks so good though. All right, I'm gonna finish neatening this up, and then I'm gonna hold it up to the camera to show you because it looks amazing. Ooh. Coming up. Yes! Ah, that looks so good. There we go. Can you see how it's like giving it like a screen tone? That looks so cool. I'm obsessed with this. So, as I said, I've got 3 different styles of deleter screen. I've got that one I've just used. I've got a sky one, and I've also got a gradient one. So I definitely want to put the sky one in the sky here. That's quite a big area to be working with. Maybe I'll do a few areas that are smaller just to sort of get my bearings a bit more. I'm really sorry if you can hear the dog snoring. He's right down like He's right down there, and it's really loud. Yeah, okay, let's do that little teensy bit of shading right there. I cannot express how incredibly satisfying this is. If you are the type of person to like doing really like fiddly little tasks, art supplies that require you to be very finicky, you will enjoy this. I really hope I'm not damaging the paper. I don't think I am. Alright, I think I've got the hang of it. Let me just like use the back of the tweezers to like really flatten that down. It's a sticker, but it doesn't feel like traditional sticker paper. It's got like a kind of a low adhesive level, so it's easy to lift up and stick back down, and then I think you've got to flatten it like that. I can't believe people use these to draw entire comics. If that is how long, I've been recording for 12 minutes, that's how long it's taken me to do that and that on a single page. So the people who use these to draw entire mangas, mad respect to you, that's crazy. Let's do this area here. I don't know if I'm necessarily doing that bit right. So I want this to just be like a subtle bit of shading. So I wonder if you can get these in the UK or the US. I can honestly say I've never seen them for sale anywhere other than in Japan. That bit there, that's so satisfying. Ooh, yes. Oh, can I use this for something? Can I use this for somewhere else? Maybe those Pokeballs I can use it for. Yeah, because I don't need to waste any, so I'll come back to that in a second while I finish this bit. I would like to draw a proper manga one day. I definitely wouldn't use this for it. I think I'd probably do it digitally. Mangas were such a big part of me getting into drawing when I was younger. I feel like it would be like coming full circle to actually make my own one. Hope you get. Yes, that looks so good. Maybe I can use it for the eyes. I think the trick is sticking it down well enough that you can cut it without it sliding everywhere, but not so much that you can't get it back up the bits that you don't want to use. So great. If anyone knows where to get the latest screens in the UK, please tell me, because I don't want to have to like wait till I go to Japan again. Yay, okay, that looks so cool. Yeah, it's subtle, but there's just like a slight screen print texture to it. All right, okay, I've built up my confidence. Oh, you know, I'll do that, and then I'm gonna do the big sky area. I'm ready. Let me just show you my eraser, by the way. I've already shown you this in my Japan art supplies video, but look at it, it's a little Mount Fuji. I mean, I haven't used it that much yet, but when you like erase away, this bit wears away, and then eventually you get like a little Mount Fuji. Isn't that so clever? Let's get a bit more advanced with it. So with the sky, I think I want the lens flare to be just slightly behind the character's head. I want to cut off enough that I've got like enough to work with, but not so much that I'm like losing a bunch of screen print texture unnecessarily. The moment of truth. Ooh. Oh man, I can just tell this is going to be so fiddly. Okay. Yeah, I can see there I've made a little mistake. The sky needs to continue down here, but it does not. I can see where I ripped the piece that I tried to cut out. I mean, will this work? Can I just jam two bits together? I can, and I will. That looks fine. That looks kind of okay. Yeah, all right. This works. Everything is fine. It was so fun coming up with this illustration design. I used to do fan art all the time, and I don't know why I
I stopped because it's just so fun to insert yourself into a universe like this.
Do you have a gym leader, Sona? Or what do you think your gym type would be if you were a Pokemon trainer? Ooh. I've always really liked the grass types. My first ever Pokemon was in Pokemon Crystal. It was like my sister's hand-me-down copy. Yeah, I picked Chikorita as my starter. You always have a special place in your heart for your starter, don't you? And I think I've mainly just been grass type ever since. Except for Mudkip. Mudkip is the exception. Oh no, that's stuck down too well. Although on saying that, I think if I was in the Pokemon universe, I probably wouldn't be a gym leader at all. I think I would be artist still, but just in the Pokemon universe, you know. I would maybe have to have a Smeagol. This is me ruining my Pokemon street cred. What's the name of that Pokemon that's got a brush for its tail? I feel like all the artist characters have one of those. I want to say Smeagol, but isn't that like Lord of the Rings? Maybe it is Smeagol. I'll look it up after this, because otherwise it's going to bug me. I would have to have one of those if I was an artist Pokemon trainer anyway. But yeah, the main reason I like battling with grass types is because they're really annoying to use for the opponent. I've got that sleep powder, paralyze powder, any kind of like Giga Drain, leech seed. Super annoying to battle against, but if you're the one using them, very satisfying. You know, I've complained a lot about how much I dislike this particular sketchbook paper, but I will say, to its credit, it is holding up against all of this really well. Maybe I'm just using it with the wrong media. I'm going to save that on this sheet because it feels like a lot to throw away. Whimsicott, by the way, is my absolute favourite Pokemon. I always have a Whimsicott whenever I replay the games. If you can get one, obviously not in the older games. This is the best bit. Ooh. Has that gone through? The paper seems to be absolutely fine. That's amazing. Is that not incredibly satisfying? I'm so happy with how this looks. Oh man, it's been so long since I've just played with a new art supply like this. I think when you've been drawing for a really long time, it's so easy to just get stuck in a rut of just making the same similar things over and over, but this has brought me a lot of joy. Yeah, I pretty much exclusively use Copic markers plus maybe like a Coloraze pencil or a friction pencil. Fine liners or gel pens, that's basically all I use. And maybe that's why I've been in kind of a rut lately. Maybe I just needed a new art supply. Because this is just doing this now is making me feel like really inspired with new ideas for stuff I could make with this. I've been thinking about making a video along the lines of, I mean, you've probably seen videos like this, but 5 ideas to fill your sketchbook or 10 ideas to use up your sketchbook pages. I would like to make one of those because I've always really liked them. I've always really enjoyed watching those. And I feel like they're the kind of thing where it's not like when you've seen one, you've seen them all, because everyone has their own different ideas for, you know, using up your sketchbook and stuff. And I was going to have one of my points being do some collage, but I was going to talk about not necessarily doing a full collage, but taking a drawing that you have and just collaging parts of it, because I think that's such a fun thing to do. Designing a character and then having her dress be made of washi tape or fun packaging. And I think this kind of falls under that umbrella. Oh no. Oh well. I've lost like a little bit of white there, but never mind. It does rip really easily, this stuff. You've got to be really careful, like exactly cutting around the shapes to stop that from happening. But when it works, it is incredibly satisfying. I'm going to do some digging around online to see if I can find somewhere to link for people to buy this, because I don't want to be like, just go to Japan and get some. If you are going to Japan anytime soon, this was from Sakaido in Shinjuku. It's a massive art supply shop. It's like 5 stories. I really like the idea of being one of these people who can just finish a sketchbook every like 3 or 6 months or so.
but I am just not that fast at drawing.
I feel like I'm in my own little manga. This is great.
Manga was such a big part of me learning to draw. I really started off with those,
I bet you've seen them, those like learn to draw manga books where they'd have like the step-by-step of like, firstly you draw this circle with a line through the middle of it and then you add the eyes and all of that kind of thing. That was like 90% of my drawing education.
So I actually think it's kind of crazy that my art style now doesn't look that manga. I guess it's just a case of
you go through it and you find your own style kind of thing. I will say that it has covered up some of my lines. It's not completely transparent, so I'm gonna have to go back over with a pen and fix those up.
yeah.
Is that not just the most satisfying thing ever? Yes.
You know, if you want to try doing this, but you can't get your hands on any deleter screens,
I'm pretty sure there are very similar textures on Procreate for the iPad, like digital screen print textures. That might be something to play with if you've got an iPad. Probably a lot less time consuming than doing it this way. I'm going to colour in some areas completely black afterwards, I think, to add a bit of sort of like value variation.
this is like surgery. It's so precise.
Nice and stuck down. That looks so like professional. I feel like this looks like a real manga. I love it. You can't see this, but on my lap I've got so many tiny little pieces of deleter screen just stuck to me. They're getting everywhere. Yes. Right, okay, so I want to colour in this section of sort of like a flower texture. Okay. Oops, so easily. Yeah, that should be alright.
I do a lot of digital art, and digital art has got pros and cons. One of the pros is that it can make doing certain illustration concepts and ideas very, very easy. When I think of some of the things I've done recently, like digital art pieces, if I imagined doing them traditionally, it would have taken easily twice as long. But for me personally, one of the downsides of digital art is that it's less inspiring. I find it so much easier to come up with new ideas and concepts when I'm drawing, like traditionally. Digital art's good if I've already got a solid idea that I want to do, but I absolutely cannot sit down in front of a Procreate canvas and just come up with something to draw. Something about it is just, it doesn't switch the creative brain on for me at all. This is where the inspiration is for me. Making a bit of a mess, handling physical art supplies. I don't know how well all of these tiny little fiddly edges are gonna stay stuck down. I hope they do. I am thinking I want this screen to be like, you know when you get into a Pokemon battle and there's that like and then there's the like lines across the screen as you like lock eyes with the trainer. I want this to look like that. I'm thinking colouring the hair in black and then having streaks of, I'm gonna say this lighter texture going across. Yeah, okay, cool. Oh no. Bits that I thought I'd stuck down are kind of starting to come up. Maybe I need to like lay something over this while I work on this page because my sleeves are just gonna like pull these up. I think, you know, because these were traditionally used for manga, I don't think they're necessarily an art supply that is meant to hold up heavy sort of like abrasion or anything like that, because you would just need your piece to be scanned and then that will be it. Maybe that's a downside of this, is that the final thing does kind of get damaged fairly easily. Deleted screens would be good for an art piece that you were just going to frame, I think, because then obviously it's protected, it's just in its frame. Maybe when I've finished this, I'll shut the book and I'll put a weight sitting on top. The adhesive will like lock in, maybe. Yeah, that looks so manga-esque, I love it. I'm just going to come in with a marker. I'm going to do the hair black, so.
this other half of shading right here. Some of this to make little like blushy circles. I think that could be cute. Stay where I put you. Yeah, that looks good. Dear delete screen experts, how do I get all the little edges to just stay stuck down? Is there some trick I'm missing? Am I supposed to like flatten them like crazy? You know, like one of those bone folders or something like that. They are peeling up everywhere. They look so cool, but I'm worried I'm gonna have to be like super gentle with this sketchbook page now. So I think I could do, for the floor area, I think I could do a gradient that they're sort of standing on. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think I'll see if I can get that to work. Like that. So, okay, cool. Yeah, I keep like squealing at how good this looks. Ah, I'm so excited. I think when you work with just like grayscale, black and white, you've got to be even more careful about values and contrast. Because with colour, if you've got, I don't know, even if all your colours are of the same darkness level, you can still differentiate between them because they're like red and green and blue. But when you're working with grayscale, you don't have any of that. Like, you've got to be really careful about like how you use contrasting like darkness levels and values and stuff to like express two objects are different objects, or like value and depth of field. Like for example, the leg, which is this like lighter screen tone, when I've finished filling those in, it's going to be similar to the top of the gradient. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to darken up underneath the feet a little bit, just to add a little bit of contrast to make it clear what's what. This is what I like about trying new art supplies. It gets me to just think slightly differently. I've got to like use my brain slightly differently. It's good. Yeah, I think I'm going to add some like cross-hatching shading over the top to cover up the fact that the gradient doesn't go all the way up, and also to sort of add a little bit of depth of field. Oh, first I've got to cut out the speech bubble. If I can get this all up in one, that's going to be so satisfying. Ah, yes. Maybe this will get it to stick down. Okay, cool. Nice. I'm sorry if the light is all over the place in this video, by the way. It is autumn in Scotland, so that's self-explanatory. It gets dark super early here because we're like pretty far north, so it's like pitch black by, well, in the middle of winter it's really dark at like 4 p.m. It's been getting dark at about 6ish recently here, so I'm hoping the light will hold out till the end of the video, because I don't love filming in unnatural light, like overhead lights. I feel like it just doesn't look as good. Right, okay, cool. The delete a screen aspect of this video is done. I'm going to do some more colouring with the marker, and I'm going to add in some textures, cross-hatching, and then we'll be all finished. I might try and see how it works drawing on top of the screen to see if that works at all. I think it would help to sort of blend the screens with the final illustration if there's hatching on top of them, if you know what I mean. It'll make sense when I do it. Ooh, actually, you know what? The areas where the markers touch the screen print, it's just like bleeding outwards, so I'm gonna have to be really careful with that. You know, a little Oddish was my first ever Pokemon toy I ever had, outside of the games themselves. I wonder where that thing went. It was like a little beanbag. Okay, so let me show you what I mean about the kind of hatching. Working down into the gradient like this. That works, yeah, that looks good. A little bit of depth. By value, what I mean is lightness to darkness. Like the value of a colour is how light or dark it is. I'm gonna do some stripey tights. These are some tights I have in real life. I really like them. They make me feel like a cartoon character. I feel like an illustration just isn't complete without these little dots and dashes that I just have to do. I don't know why. The oddish is because I've just given them eyes. They really remind me of the little bomb dudes from Mario. Which wasn't the intention, but we'll roll with it. Let's give that a bit of a pattern as well. Oh, okay, so if this is my grass gym, I don't know if these are the actual Pokemon I battle with. Definitely a Whimsicott. What would my actual team be? I would have to give that some thought. But the floor of the gym would be grass. Maybe it would be an outside gym. Fully outside. Have they ever done that? That'd be cool. Alright, I feel like white gel pen for a last couple highlights. And then we're done. I've had this pencil case for 8 years and it's absolutely disgusting. It's covered in like ink and it's ripped. I don't know, I get really attached to my possessions. I find it hard to get rid of things until they're completely trashed. One day it'll just rip in half and then I'll be free of it. Okay, let's do some laces. And I'm also going to do a bit of like motion lines here. Alright, I think I'm done. I think this is it. I think this is the finished illustration. I'm really proud of it. It's come out really cool. I'm really happy for how well it's come out considering this is my first time attempting this art supply. Needless to say, I'll definitely be making more videos with it. This has been incredibly fun and it's just been fun. Well, because like I said, like I've always loved manga so much. It was a big part of why I got into art in the first place. So it's been really fun to sort of play at being a mangaka, interact with a little bit of that medium that made me so excited all those years ago. It's been really fun to do that. I'm kind of feeling like I want to draw my own manga now. But yeah, this has been so fun. Let me know if you enjoyed this. Let me know if you tried deleted screens yourself. And especially let me know if you know where I can buy them in the UK because I'm going to need to stock up because I know there are so many different patterns you can try and I'm really excited with lots of different ideas for different ideas I could do with deleted screens. That didn't make any sense, you know what I mean. Alright, thanks so much for watching. I'm going to go. Bye for now.